Hello and welcome to this Tenantcube video. This video is a quick overview of using Tenantcube from the tenant perspective. Now, when a landlord invites a tenant to apply, the tenant can directly apply using the Apply Now button, which will be on the listing that they've sent. That's what we're looking at now. Or as a tenant, if I find a listing somewhere that I'd like to apply to, I can go ahead and directly do so. Once I've hit the Apply Now button, it will actually open up the application. Now, in my next tab, I've actually already completed an application to save us some time on this video. But what you'll see here is all the information that is complete is going to ask very standard questions regarding things like my current address, landlord information, my employment information, and you'll even see here that I've uploaded my employment letter and my pay stub already. I'll then be able to add things in like my references and any additional details. Certain details, if you trigger yes as the option you've selected, you may then trigger additional fields which you may need to fill out. In this example, I've noted that I have additional liabilities and I have a car loan, so I've completed those details. Now, as you move through, it'll ask you some more questions to help complete the picture for the potential landlord. And you'll even see here at the end, I've uploaded my proof of identity with the Add Document button. Now, once I am completed my application, if I need to add additional co-applicants, I can do so by hitting yes. I'll simply want to check that I authorize the verification of my references and some other details as well. And then I simply send my application. You'll see here my application has now been sent. All of my details for the application with respect to the property and the landlord information are now available here. Now, when you've been approved for a property, you'll actually be notified via email that you've been selected. You'll see here I've got a letter showing that I was selected for the property and I can now access Tenantcube. Now, assuming the landlord is going to be using Tenantcube for the remainder of the onboarding process, you're also going to get some other emails. You're going to get an email regarding your rental insurance, if they've requested insurance, regarding your rental deposit, if they've required last month's rent or any sort of security deposit, whatever is relevant in relation to your home region. And last but not least, the lease agreement. So we'll tackle these one at a time. Now, let's start with the insurance. As a tenant, when I go to upload my insurance, I have a couple of options. I can very simply go through and hit add insurance and then upload my existing insurance documents. Now, if I don't have an insurance, I can go ahead and get a quote from Duo. And when I go ahead and select this, I'll be able to pull up the details to get a quote directly from Duo and directly inside of Tenantcube. So very easy to get that done and upload it for the landlord. The next item is the payments. So when I go to my payments tab and I receive a payment request for my deposit, I can very easily go through and interact this money through or pay directly through my bank account. And we'll also be looking at this later on for automated or recurring rent payments. And last but not least is the Ontario lease agreement or whichever lease agreement they've sent to you. So I'll go through and I'll be able to sign my part of the agreement very easily. As a tenant, this saves me time. I don't have to go anywhere, drop anything off, print anything. Very easy for me to go ahead and just simply put my details in. Now, you'll see here all of the information from the lease is here, and I can go through it as needed to make sure that all my information is correct. Everything's fully transparent here. However, I'll just be able to sign my area, and I won't be able to go ahead and edit anything here at this time. I would just finish off by putting in the date. And then once I'm done, you'll see here I hit finish. Now this lease is signed. And once I'm happy with all of this information, I again just sign it and it will go back to the appropriate parties. So now at this point, I'll be able to go back into my Tenantcube account and I'll have all of this updated for the landlord now. The next item is the landlord may request recurring payments. Now that the landlord has completed their side of the lease agreement, it looks like they've gone ahead and requested that I set up auto payments. To go ahead and set up auto payments, once I receive my request, I can view it inside Tenantcube. And the next steps are going to be incredibly simple. I'll simply want to go ahead and select set up auto payments. It'll let me know that the landlord has made the request, and I can select electronic fund transfer or interact. I'm going to go with the electronic fund transfer so that it can be automatically drawn from my account. Here, now you'll see that we have a partnership with Zumrails who will help facilitate this interaction. And I'll just go ahead and put in my number. And I will hit next. Now, once I've gone through and put in my details, I'll have to make sure that I consent to everything. And then I will be selecting the bank that I'm with. Now, once I've selected my bank, I will just very simply choose which account I want the money to be drawn from. And then it'll be drawn from the agreed upon date as per the details. So this is how you've set up the payments. Now, once your payments have been set up, the next thing that you'll be doing is potentially submitting any work orders if you have any concerns with respect to maintenance while you're in your new place. After having gone through the screening and leasing process and setting up auto payments, the next likely item for a tenant is going to be a work order. To submit a work order, you'll want to go to the left-hand vertical bar and then up to the right and hit create task. Here you'll put in a subject and a description. And you can even attach a photo. If you're on the app, you can also go ahead and take a photo. You can see here there is now a new work order, and the landlord will be able to view this from their side. They can go ahead and add their own notes in. This can be used as a line of communication. And if for whatever reason I need to withdraw the ticket, I can do so in the top right. This concludes how tenants can use Tenantcube for their rental. If you have any questions, please feel free to email us at support@tenantcube.com.